tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tulilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Uzalendo pia mshikamano viwe msingi wa umoja wetu, na tulinde uhuru na amani, mila zetu na desturi zetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
You may take your seats. The Deputy Prime Minister of Uganda, the Right Honorable Kirunda Kibejinja, you're most welcome. In our midst is the State Minister for Uganda's Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, State Minister for Tourism in the Republic of Zimbabwe, the Minister of Tourism from the Seychelles Republic, the High Commissioner of Rwanda to Uganda, the Deputy High Commissioner of the South African Republic. We have in our midst the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities. We have heads of institutions. We have the heads of the tourism boards of Kenya, Tanzania, the President of the East African Tourism Platform, colleagues, heads of agencies, distinguished business leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, you're all very, very welcome. Please give yourself a hand clap. Right Honorable Prime Minister, we had a very good session this morning. We are hosting the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo, now in its third edition, and we are very excited to have very many players in the tourism sector, both private and public, from over 30 countries. They are present. In the last 1 week alone, we had teams flying into different parts of the country and having a sneak preview and direct engagement with our tourism private sector and the various tourism offerings that we have. This morning, we had a very good roundtable discussion, which was led by very many heads of institutions and also heads of private sector players, diplomats. So you're all very welcome. My name is Stephen Asimwe. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Uganda Tourism Board. My absolute pleasure and honor to have all of you here for this wonderful experience. Without much ado, I would ask my sister Carmen Nibigira from the East African Tourism Platform to take over at this point in time. But allow me to salute all of you for coming and for being a part of this wonderful experience. Let's take time to share and experience and learn from each other and promote this wonderful destination. Thank you very much. Carmen.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, everybody. And once again, welcome to Destination East Africa. Today, we are pretty much honored and privileged to be here with you because it's a special day, and I would like to first of all thank very much our partners, the Tourism Board of Rwanda, Uganda, and Kenya. We have worked hard to put together 3 projects initiated, funded, and in the spirit of East Africa, all the 3 countries in their different diversity in terms of product they offer and then the destinations they stand for themselves, they decided to put together something which is unique. Maybe allow me to elaborate a little bit about what we have done. East Africa Tourism Platform, we are in our 5th year actually this year since we were born. Our mandate is to work with the private sector to represent the voice of the private sector in this regional integration in East Africa. So what we did was to work with our counterparts from the public sector. This is mainly Tourism Board, Kenya, Rwanda, and Uganda. Of course, we work with Burundi and Tanzania, but this particular exercise, the reason we are here today, we have worked with Rwanda, Uganda, and Kenya. Tourism for us is not just like any other business. It's our lung, it's our heart. When we talk about tourism, we mean business. And then the private sector, whether you are a tour operator, a hotelier, or a travel agent, a tour guide, someone who's involved indirectly or directly in the sector, from any touch point, from any value chain, from selling tomatoes to a hotel, to someone who's selling a ticket. So all of you who are in this region, we understand very much that without a political will, without commitment from our government, there's so much we can do, and there's little also we can achieve without the help of them. So East Africa, we stand as a bridge. We connect. We are the gluing factor for tourism boards, private sector, to talk, to resolve some of the issues we have. For this particular day, we are here to actually work to showcase what we have done in the last almost like 2 years. We are launching our portal, our tourism portal. We will have a presentation of the portal. We are launching our TV commercial, which will be live in all the 3 countries. We are targeting 100 million viewers. And we also be launching our first documentary. Why are we launching the documentary? Why are we doing the TV commercial? I think Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, you have always done amazing and extraordinary commercials. You go and then target a specific market. But now we are looking at our region, domestic and regional. We are looking at someone who is a truly East African, who wants to travel in East Africa and then experience East Africa. It's not just about national parks. It's not just about the food. It's not just about the people. First of all, it's all about us first. We want to be part of that conversation and then on our own narrative. So the reason why I'm here today, we want to celebrate our achievements, and I would like to say achievements. It has not been an easy journey, I have to confess, because 3 countries working together, putting together a commercial for 52 seconds and a documentary of 5 minutes and a few seconds, trying to pull what the best Kenya has to offer, from the beautiful beaches on the coast of Diani, Mombasa, and the Malindi and Lamu, to the remarkable Rwanda, the mountains, the gorillas, and then to this amazing country, Uganda, which has so many many things to offer, from Kidepo National Park, which is my favorite national park for some reason, to Burundi. So how can you combine everything and get everybody to agree what can be in that documentary, in that commercial? So I would like to salute and thank very much our partners for believing in us and working with us. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I would like now to invite our technical people to, first of all, show you our TV commercial.
There's a new key accessing East Africa. There's a new key for accessing East Africa. There's a new. The East African Tourist Visa. The East African Tourist Visa gives you all access to Rwanda, Uganda, and Kenya. For residents of the three countries, your national ID gives you access across the three borders. It's East Africa. Explore it.
From the remarkable Rwanda to the Pearl of Africa.
Sorry, I apologize. I think I will ask our technical team to probably rehearse. I think that the screens were not ready. So the TV commercial is only 52 seconds. So can we have that just played just that side? Thank you very much. So this is the commercial. Thank you.
There's a new key for accessing East Africa. The East African Tourist Visa. The East African Tourist Visa gives you all access to Rwanda, Uganda, and Kenya. For residents of the three countries, your national ID gives you access across the three borders. It's our East Africa. Explore it.
Thank you very much. So it's our East Africa. It's our East Africa. For anyone from the media here in this room, this will be aired in any national TV in East Africa. So probably the first time we are going to see the three countries promoting, Kenya promoting in Rwanda and Uganda, Rwanda promoting in Kenya and Uganda, Uganda vice versa. So this is a milestone when it comes to promoting. So when we talk about tourism, we are not only targeting the market outside, we are also looking at our market. We are talking about the single tourist visa, the use of our national IDs, and the interstate passes in crossing our borders and visiting our region. So now, the documentary. Why did we do a documentary? We realized this 2 seconds is not enough to kind of like give a flavor and educate and raise awareness of what we are doing. So we came up with the documentary. The documentary now is pretty much geared to all our East Africans. It will be done in local languages, in Swahili, in Kinyarwanda, and the local language in Uganda, and of course in English. So the documentary is to help our consumers, and then also East Africans, and then residents in East Africa, to discover that there's so much we can do, and there's so much we can explore if we are part of that conversation of the tourism sector in our region. So without any further ado, kindly allow me to unveil our new documentary, and welcome again. Thanks.
From the remarkable Rwanda to the Pearl of Africa, all the way to magical Kenya, accessing East Africa has never been easier.
For a traveler, ease of travel is one of the key things, and as governments we are there to facilitate so that when the traveler comes, it is easy for them to move around. The other thing, of course, is that even residents who are foreigners in these countries are able to cross. So you find that diplomats in Kigali can come for the weekend easily to Kenya without having to pay for a visa because of this facility.
Tourist visa. It had made it easier for international tourists who wishes to travel the three countries at once. And it has made it actually cheaper and cost effective to travel the three countries or to access the three countries.
Use of IDs across borders, I think, is a great opportunity for us to tap into some segments of the market which necessarily may not have the passports.
Through the East African Residence Pass and the East African Tourist Visa, Rwanda, Uganda, and Kenya have come together to offer easy access across their borders to citizens, residents, and non-residents.
We're trying to create awareness so that people are aware that they actually do not need for us to go and spend lots of thousands of shillings to get a passport. As long as you have a national ID and you're a resident or a national, you can actually cross another border and go to Kenya, go to Rwanda, and any other country that join us in that same principle for tourism purposes of business.
The use of the IDs between the three countries is welcome. Look at the number of Kenyans who do not have passports. This is an opportunity for them to go around three countries without a lot of hassle. Just having your ID is enough to make you cross, do business, have fun, go to school to these places without having to go through the applications of passports.
Whether you'd like to travel for business to one of the safest and cleanest cities in the world, Kigali, or you'd like to feel the thrill of a level 5 racking experience at the White Nile in Jinja, or you'd like to go for your honeymoon on the white sandy beaches of Diani, ease of access has never been easier. The East African Residence Pass and the East African Tourist Visa gives you access to all this and more. East Africa has so much to offer to both domestic and international tourists. Visit King Mutara III Rudahigwa's Royal Palace Museum or the beautiful Ethnographic Museum in Rwanda. While at it, why not head to Rubavu district and enjoy the spectacular sunset at Lake Kivu? Take a boat ride at Queen Elizabeth National Park in Uganda that has a variety of flora and fauna, a habitat for over 95 mammal species and over 600 species of birds. How about a round of golf at one of East and Central Africa's PGA-approved golfing facilities, that is Vipingo Ridge in Mombasa? While you are there, spend a night or two in one of the beautiful beach hotels at the Kenyan coast. Or, are you a nature lover? Then why not visit the Nyungwe Protected Rainforest Canopy Walk in Rwanda? After which, go gorilla trekking in the beautiful Volcanoes National Park. Visit the majestic tree-climbing lions in the Queen Elizabeth National Park in Uganda. And on your way there, you're bound to encounter some friends you can't ignore. Head to Kenya and be part of the 8th wonder of the world, that is the wildebeest migration in the Mara. Enjoy the unique shopping and dining experience that Nairobi has to offer. Explore the Nile from its source at Jinja, and all at the wonder that is Murchison Falls in Uganda. Be sure not to leave the Pearl of Africa without a visit to the Namugongo Martyrs Shrine in Kampala and a visit to Bwindi Forest National Park for mountain gorilla trekking. Whether for business, leisure, or pleasure, East Africa has something for everybody.
As a community, at least one of the basic things we have is a free and open market. To be specific for tourism, the East African community means a lot for us, because if you look at our biggest source market for tourism arrivals, it is actually from our regional neighbors.
Of course, with the political will and the support of the private sector, I see this region as an engine that will drive economic development, but in particular will improve the lives of the people that live in this region.
Means opportunity. It is an area, it is a community that has growing middle class, it has increased resources, minerals, great infrastructural development, very good ICT innovation, and a community that is thriving and looking to grow in the economies to become very well developed in the near future.
From the remarkable Rwanda, through the Pearl of Africa, all the way to magical Kenya, it's our East Africa. Explore it.
I'm proud to say that this is our East Africa. This is our destination. We are proud to call this place our home. Whether I am in Nairobi, I am from Burundi. I am home when I'm here. I am home when I'm in Kenya. I'm home when I'm in Tanzania. I'm home when I'm in Rwanda. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to East Africa. Help us to promote, to sell this destination. First of all, to our partners in this room from the region. Take the message home on the narrative. Take home the message that we are open for business. We are ready to do business. And for our media in this room, please, this is your message for you. Take this home. We have done this. Help us to now spread the word and take it, whether all the corners from the top of the mountain of Kilimanjaro in Tanzania to Mombasa, wherever we want to take it there. And also partners, hoteliers. You know, we would like to see this documentary in all your rooms. Promote. Let's do this. This is something we can do together. So without any further ado, I would like now to invite on the stage 3 partners we worked closely on this project. I will invite, first of all, the host, Ministry of Tourism for Uganda, Kenya Tourism Board, and then also for Rwanda, represented by the ambassador in this room. So the media, please, this is your time for you to ask, what is the impetus? Why are we doing this? Why 3 countries are joining effort, and collaboration is the key word here. Why do they believe that they can do the work together? And then complement each other. I think the word is no longer competition, it's cooperation and cooperation, right? So ladies and gentlemen, take the stage, and then the media, anyone in the room. For those who didn't have time to ask questions, this is the time for you. Thanks. Thank you so much. So I would like now, I'm not going to take this stage. Basically, I'm passing those microphones to the audience. I see one hand already, 2. So let me start with the lady in the middle, and then the gentleman here, and then a third person. So I'll be moderating, and time is key here. So microphones around. Introduce yourself and where you come from, the organization you represent. Thanks.
Hello. My name is Lynn Lintott. I'm from Vancouver, Canada, with Paradise Seekers Travel. My question is, have you looked at the possibility of creating an air pass that would complement the 3 countries so that it would be less expensive for people to move between the countries of East Africa?
Okay, I think the question is coming from Canada, is have we created almost like an air pass, helping to move around the destination affordable, right?
Affordability.
Yes, affordability is the key. So I think they heard the question. Second question, I think the gentleman.
Good morning. My name is Joseph Tony Brown. I represent Black Creations International. First and foremost, I want to identify tourism. Tourism itself is a fundamental cultural value, and we represent the culture, the people, and our environment. Particularly when I saw the advert of the East African thing, I think there's a lot more that needs to be done. Because we need to tell our stories. We don't need to wait till discovery come and discover us. We are the root. I can say discovery is not just the branch, but the leaf. It is about time Africa needs to tell our story. Our story is about the untapped potentials in Africa. Everything that we are showcasing to the whole world is just about 12%. 88% is still lying fallow. We need to let the world know about the new Africa and the African vision. So I want to ask, are our programs rejuvenating our cultural values and the potentials that are embedded in Africa? Let's tell our story. Thank you.
Thank you. There's a gentleman behind. Thank you.
My name is Moses Serugo. I'm a travel blogger and part of the Uganda Tourism Press Association. My question is about the open skies policy in regard to aviation, which would essentially make the point-to-point airports domestic routes. So I'm curious to know if there is any, or how far the discussion regarding open skies has reached, especially in light of the fact that the Entebbe to Nairobi route continues to be the most expensive per air mile in the world.
Okay, I think we can take those 3 questions. Oh, there's another one behind, just at the back of the room, and then the 4 questions.
Thank you. I'm Sandy Murray from the UK. I'm very passionate about animal conservation, and I wondered, will the minister still concentrate on making sure that the fight against poachers and trophy hunters continues? The British people really are keen. If they know the animals are protected, that will make them want to come and visit. So that was just my question. And thank you very much for having me here. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. Okay, I think we have a few questions from Open Sky to culture, owning our own narrative, to affordability of air travel within the region. So without any specific, anyone who feels like they're ready to take any other questions, please feel free. There's a microphone. We have answer from here. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I think the three questions were directed to destination East Africa, not to Uganda or Rwanda or Kenya. The first question about the destination East Africa and especially the affordability on the rates. Somebody also actually answered this when he mentioned about the route, Nairobi Entebbe being one of the most expensive routes in the world. We need to really to work upon this as a country, as the destination East Africa, because it doesn't make sense when we say that we have a single tourism visa, and the tourist, after visiting Nairobi, he wants to fly to Uganda or to Kigali, and the rates are too high, because we shall not be having walked the talk. Actually, we shall just be talking about this. Because somebody will say, why should I put $1,000 to fly to Uganda? You know, it's an impediment to achieve our goal as the East African community. We need to work on this seriously. But besides that, our people, our communities, really using some other means of transport. We are using the buses. Every weekend I'm seeing many Kenyans entering Uganda. I'm seeing many people from Kigali entering Kampala. Every Friday you see freight buses coming in. We are also coming up with the standard gate jewelry. We are coming in with other innovations. People haven't been complaining much about the Rwanda Air, about our rate coming to Uganda, but the complaint has been basically on the Kenyan Airways. Uganda is also reviving the Uganda Airlines, but I think as we revive this, we must put into consideration about this, really, or the issue of cost. Poaching, we are doing everything possible to fight this vice in Uganda. In our national parks, I've just gone through the national parks in the country, and I've seen very many people confessing, returning the seniors. Last time when I was in Buindi, over 120 former poachers here, they were repenting and coming back to normal. You know, it's a change. You know, poaching, what we call poaching, our communities were not calling poaching. They call it hunting, because they will say, for us who grew up hunting, you know, what you are telling us is different. So we are doing everything. Of course, with time, then the money issue came in, issues to do with ivory, because some people are doing this to get money. But it's a cultural kind of thing we are changing. And I think now some of our national parks, particularly in Uganda, we've overcome this. We've really come to a certain level. We need to maintain it or even to do more about this. But the challenge is engaging these communities, the former poachers, into other economic, because some of them were doing it as an economic, earn them an income. So we need to come up with alternative measures and alternative economic activities that these people can be engaged into to make sure that at least we really stop at this vice. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I think the question was, is a KQ expensive than Rwanda? That's something maybe you can elaborate more on.
All right.
Thank you very much for the question. As my counterpart says, the issue around travel regionally is something that needs to be addressed by us as a community. As my colleague says, this has not been addressed directly. KQ is still an expensive airline, and the government is in discussion with KQ as our national carrier to find means of providing alternatives to regional travel. Budget airlines or budget brands like Jambo, 540 out of Kenya have tried to mitigate that challenge, but not to the point that it would make the East Africa community travel accessible, as the lady says. So this is something that we are aware of in Kenya, and the community we are aware of. It is something that needs to be addressed. Alternative means of travel, such as rail, the standard gauge rail, which we have already embarked on, is one of the means that can mitigate that challenge. There's the issue around how it is that you make it not only accessible as a means of moving from country to country, but marketing it as such, as a means of experiencing the diversity and the tourism product across the 3 countries. Currently, plans are underway to develop between Mombasa and Uganda. We'll obviously then look at the Rwanda angle, but that might be another way to mitigate the cost of travel. Buses, as my colleague says, is a way that the region is already conversant with in terms of travel. But it is the issue around making that a comfortable way of movement across the country. Making the road travel and the infrastructure accessible to, first of all, easily accessible, but also a comfortable way to travel from one country to another. So those are issues that we need to discuss as the 3 countries, but there's opportunity to be able to address this issue around how do I get from one country to another. At the moment, it is not ideal, but it is work in progress. Every elephant is eaten by the first bite. So at least we have a bite.
Thank you.
So let's come to the poaching issue. I'll speak on behalf of Kenya, and we signal to the world that our tasks belong to our elephants, with the burning of 105 tons of ivory. It was symbolic, but also was very important at the beginning of ensuring that we curb poaching of both rhinos and elephants. Recently, just from that exercise, China was able to ban ivory trade in China. That was one of the source markets. That was one of the key markets that was driving poaching, not only in Kenya, but I think around Africa. So as part of ensuring that we are able to protect our wildlife, which is not only one of our assets in the tourism sector, but is really important for the sustainability of tourism in years to come. We have focused on the animals that are at high risk through tagging, through use of technology, so that we are able to map out and to track where these animals are as they cross the various borders. Our Kenya Wildlife Association, as well as the regional wildlife associations, were able then to build not only systems and structures that allow those state operations to be able to track the animals, but also make it really difficult for poachers to be able to access our animals. The last question was around, The last question was around how it is that we are marketing the product and ensuring that tourism, it was from the gentleman, ensuring that people understand tourism as our bedrock, not only economically, but also as a region. And this is not just an East African opportunity, it is an Africa opportunity. I think the fact that the UN WTO declared 2017 as the year of sustainable tourism gives us an ideal opportunity to begin to tell the story around the impact of tourism on the lives of our citizens. We say that for every 10 tourists, we create one job. But that's just the beginning. There's the issue around the ecosystem that tourism is able to feed. Tourism impacts farmers, it impacts trade, people in the travel industry, it impacts as simple as our traders in the markets, it impacts families because we're able to create employment, it impacts our areas in terms of development. If you look at the coastal region, if you look at regions such as our destinations that people go to, the people that work there are family members, their mothers and their fathers, and they have children. This is a livelihood. So tourism is not just something that an economy benefits from. Some economies benefit more than others. In Kenya, tourism is the number one, is the number two economic earner for us. So that's really important. But this is something that can help countries develop and ensure that citizens in those countries are able to feed their families, are able to survive, are able to take their children to school. So it's not just about getting either visitors to come to your market, but it's the impact of those visitors to the lives of the communities and the places that they visit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me first of all start by thanking the organizers of this Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo for the third time. Rwanda has participated in the previous two, and we shall certainly continue to do that. So we thank the hosts for doing that. Having said that, I want to begin by making a very general observation. Because sometimes, the many times I get into forums that discuss East Africa, it's like we are discovering something new. That's not true. I'm sure the Right Honorable Deputy Prime Minister will agree with me. East Africa is a reality. All we are trying to do is actualize what actually is in place. It's one region. If you look at how it is integrated, not only in physical terms, but also even in the people that inhabit this region. I have had an opportunity to live in Kenya. I have lived in Tanzania. Of course, now I live in Uganda. I lived in Uganda even before, and I'm the ambassador of Rwanda. I literally talk almost all the languages of this region. Not because I took time to learn them, but because they have so much in common. People moved. Certainly, there were periods of movement, and this region is inhabited by the same people. It is exhibited by physical features that are related to everybody that lives in this region. So East Africa is actually a reality. We only have to actuate and maybe possibly do it as quickly as possible so that we work together for the good of the people who own and belong to this region and the posterity. Having said that, when we were out for a break, I talked to somebody who gave me an observation that I want to make, because it relates to this point I'm making. Somebody says there's a bit of competition, even when we got into these things. I listened and then made one observation. I said, specifically on tourism, if we did what we need to do and marketed this region, we would get more tourists than we would even maybe cater for. So why are you competing? You are competing now because you have constraints towards the flow of the tourists. Open, and this region will have more than you will maybe be able to handle. You will be dealing with the situation now of creating the handlers, the private sector to deal with it. I can bet that. I have moved, like I said, in this region. This region is endowed with resources that are inexhaustible, that are unique, that everybody will want, everybody from whichever part of the world will want to come and watch. I think the sooner we realize that the need to do that, fortunately, our leadership has certainly come to that realization, and hence the many efforts that are being done now, including maybe the most recent on the Northern Corridor projects. There are 14 projects now. The heads of state themselves are really in touch with, always making sure that they have to get together and task the technicians and see how far you go on. I think we have to appreciate these efforts because it's something that we'll have to deliver. Of course, all journeys have a bit of challenges, but we need to work on them. Sometimes when challenges come, they help you to devise ways and means of even, getting to where you want and learning a lot from that. Rwanda, I can bet, is committed to this noble cause of teaming up with the neighbors so that we move in that direction where we remove constraints to anything that would hamper promoting tourism. In the position I occupy right now, the instructions are very clear. On the single tourist visa, on exhibitions, now we exhibit together. Whichever exhibition now we attend globally, the region exhibits together. These are some quite significant steps that are being taken. But of course, like everybody observed, we need to do more. There's no doubt that we need to do more. I listened to the private sector people who operate in Rwanda. I'm certainly in touch with people who operate here. And every cry is about let's remove the constraints, let's get where we need to go. And I think we need to answer that call. And the best way we can do it is together, so that, because you see, by working on the Northern Corridor, improving the transport is going to help all of us, Central Corridor and all these other places. Having made that general observation, let me try to answer some of the questions, because let's be practical about some of the issues. People are talking about transport. The cost of transport. Of course, if the cost of transport remains high, it remains a big constraint. I know that in these meetings, these regional meetings that have been taking place, this is one of the issues that have been highlighted. Can we have open space? If I speak for my country, Rwanda Air is growing every day. We are making acquisitions. We want to serve. We are answering to the call. So what do we need to do? We've requested for fifth freedom right, so that we can fly from big passengers from all over the place. Soon as it happens, the better. Very soon we shall be. Rwanda Air is flying to Europe. In addition to the continental networks that has now, month of April, we'll be flying to Mumbai in India. If that opportunity exists, let's grab it. Let's not delay in leveraging on the opportunities that have come, because they help all of us. So I know that this is one of the issues, the open space policy. I know that people are engaged on it to the highest levels, and one will hope that it gets sorted sooner rather than later.
Thank you, Ambassador. I don't know whether you can just maybe ask, because I would like to now open for the last set of questions before we proceed, because we have the launch of the portal as well to be done shortly.
Sorry, I took too long, I'm sorry. Maybe I... Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll ask if anyone or 2 or 3 questions before we proceed to the portal, which is another... Yes, I have a question. If we can have the microphone...
Yes, I have a microphone. I'm in the shadow, sorry, with the moderator.
Okay.
I'm called Mulumba Mathias. I represent 2 organizations. One is Green Efforts Foundation under the Vice President's Office, Uganda, but also a research institution called CEPAD. I'm particularly interested in 2 things: local tourism but also tourism on the waters. For the leaders and for this expo and also the strategies that we have in a special way to promote local tourism. As a researcher, I've been to many places, especially here in Uganda. When you get to Kalangala, for example, people think tourism is for the white people, for people who are not black. And also those who engage in tourism in such places are investors, not from the local areas, but people who have come in with money to build beaches, and that's all. The people locally don't really appreciate what we are doing. Personally, as a researcher, that's what I've found out.
Okay.
Secondly, for the waters, yes, we have air transport and all these other means, but when you get to many of these islands, the districts are suffering. There's no connectivity. We have one ferry, we have one ship, it's broken down 6 months, and how are we going to really invest in this? Thank you so much.
Thank you. So the question is local tourism. I understand local domestic tourism. That was your first question. And the other one, we don't have to rely on air transportation or roads. There's also water. I think when we were flying in from Kenya, one of my colleagues sitting next to me was like, this lake is big. Lake Victoria is massive, but it's almost like not utilized to what can be useful for our sector. And any cruise on the lake, I don't know what the plan is. So maybe to fast track, I'm probably going to point a question to probably Kenya, because I know you are leading when it comes to tourism, domestic tourism, local tourism. Domestic tourism is big, and then I think, if I'm not mistaken, 50-something% of your tourism, in terms of numbers and revenue, comes from the domestic, from your campaign, Tembea Kenya. So that's your question to you. And when it comes to water, there's no other person I can ask, maybe Uganda. Maybe what are your plans, like Victoria? How can we do the potential connecting Kisumu to Kampala, or Kampala, Kisumu, or north, east, west? So directly to those questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll speak to the local tourism. The issue around, and it's actually a discovery, the issue around getting the local citizens to travel within their country is an issue of creating awareness and taking away ignorance. Like the gentleman said, tourism has been positioned over the years as something that is for people that are coming away from the country, people that are, in most cases, not the same color as the people in the country, which is simply a myth, and also that it is an expensive undertaking. So the way that we propose to address, and this is something that we have discussed as a region, East Africa region, to grow through joint marketing initiatives, but specifically through a campaign that we call Tembea Kenya. This is something that we have been able to adapt in the 3 countries, because in each country, Tembea means walk or visit or travel, and it almost means the same thing across the 3 countries. As the ambassador says, this is the language in the 3 countries. It's like you're speaking to one person. So through this campaign, what we've been able to do is initially just showcase the country. And this is an initiative that we ask the 3 countries to just showcase your country to help the people understand where they can visit. The tendency is that people will go to the place that they feel is somewhere where they know, something that they're aware of, and are not that keen to be adventurous. So you find that people visit areas around where they live, or around where they are aware of, in terms of either they visit or work, and do not really explore the expanse of their country. So the task has been, first of all, showcase what the country has to offer, both in places that are obvious and in places that are not obvious. Showcase the diversity in things like hikes, walks, food, culture, festivals, music. There's tons of things that the people in the 3 countries can do. And help people to understand that it is not expensive. Because when you're traveling within the country, it suddenly creates an opportunity to travel either by road, you're able to travel by bus, you're able to travel as a group, you're able to move short distances and optimize the experience that you get in those short distances. So that is the way we've been able to drive the issue around domestic tourism. In focusing on domestic tourism, just in the past year, we've seen a 22% growth in that area. So this is an actual opportunity that is untapped by all the three countries. I cannot answer that question.
Thank you.
You wanted on waters?
Yes, because that's a question for...
But I think Lake Victoria actually covers the three countries. I think Kenya and Uganda has really big chunks of Lake Victoria, but also have some other water sources in the country, particularly in Uganda. True, we are not ventured a lot in the water transport. Cabinet is considering now a bill is before Cabinet on the use of water, because water we must have the routes, we must have all this. We are coming up with the school for navigation, and actually because we are having a problem of having this professionally here on our waters, we are doing everything possible. But actually, as you've mentioned, Lake Victoria is very dormant. You look at it, apart from seeing some few boats and probably on a weekend when you go to Entebbe, you can see some people just on boat cruise, but not even very many, very few. But as government, in Uganda, we are coming up with the policy on the best way to use our waters and improve on water, basically on tourism using water. But we are also catching the fire of the domestic tourism. As Uganda, we are catching the fire on domestic tourism, and we've just begun a drive, which is basically it's a local tourism drive, which is called Tulambule, which means also let's tour Uganda. Let's tour Uganda. We've already engaged our communities, but of course we bought a lot from from our sister, the Kenya, because we cannot do well international tourism unless we actually improved our domestic tourism. That's a very, it's a fact, and we are really also moving towards this.
Thank you. Rwanda, any comments?
Well, they are not very different. Local tourism is something that is being focused on now. There has been a program to actually encourage people to move and see the different places in Rwanda, because I will tell you for a fact, there are many people who have never seen even a mountain gorilla. Much as mountain gorilla is one of the brands of Rwanda. But that's not all. Different parts that are really exciting that people have not seen. So there is a deliberate effort. There is a government department that is purely devoted to promoting tourism, and that's one of the things that they do. But to add to maybe the issue that had come up, which is also related to this, interest is derived from sometimes how people get involved. When you talk about conservation and protection of animals, you have to involve the people. And one way of involving them and interesting them is actually to allow them to benefit. Because those who used to go into the gorilla forest, today benefit differently. They take a percentage, it's about 20 or 25% of the collection to build the communities around. They see the school, they see the hospital, and they begin to appreciate that, oh, we need to protect this. The gorilla naming has now become a community-based thing, but it's attracting the world. And so the involvement, enhancing the interest, and the local tourism has also got to go with the benefits that the communities derive from that, and it's happening. But like my colleagues from the region are saying, we are all learning from the good practices that may emanate from Kenya, from Uganda, from Rwanda, from Tanzania, from Burundi, because remember, East African community extends to beyond that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I would like to thank the panel, the Tourism of Ministry of Tourism of Uganda, Kenya Tourism Board, and Rwandan government. So I would like to say that this is exactly what we are trying to do: collaboration and cooperation, learning from what our neighbors are doing and leverage on the skills and assets they have. And I am very pleased to see that through the Northern Corridor Initiative projects, this is something which we managed to do. They mentioned 11 projects. Tourism is among those 11 projects. And then for tourism to grow, we have to start our conversation within domestic tourism, regional tourism, before we look outside. So panelists, thank you very much. Now, I would like to invite you to join the audience, and then we'll invite the person who's going to help us to launch the portal to do a presentation, because this is something else which is part of this initiative of the three countries. Now, making booking and learning about the destination very democratized. So we would like to invite Ernest from Hexacom company coming on stage. He's going to take you through how the portal works. The portal is designed for you, the private sector, anyone in the region, to learn how the portal will work. So Ernest, please take stage. Thanks.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, honorable ministers, members of the private sector, all protocols observed. My name is Ernest Kainamura. I'm founder and CEO of Hexacom Limited. We are a software and IT consulting company based in Kigali, Rwanda. It is our great pleasure to have worked with the collective groups of Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda to help leverage technology to build a portal to promote tourism. As you know, lately, technology is revolutionizing many industries. Even, I'm sure, the way you booked your ticket to arrive here versus your travel, maybe with, instead of calling a taxi, use the Uber service. Technology is really transforming the way we live our lives. But technology will never replace a real-life experience. However, technology will replace how we discover them, how we share them, and how we remember them. And it's with great honor that the East Africa Single Destination Portal, their vision is to do this while marketing the collective countries together to demonstrate to the world how beautiful and majestic this part of the world is, East Africa. So what I'd like to do is quickly show you the portal. And I know you've seen many websites before, you know what a website is. But really, what is different and unique about this platform is we're engaging the different stakeholders, including the private sector. We're addressing many of the challenges the key players have addressed. One of them being awareness. One of them being awareness. How do they find us? How do they know who we are? How do we keep our content up to date? Many of you have independent websites where you try to keep it updated. You all have a web designer or a guy helping you with your content. So we're trying to address some of those things effectively. So briefly, this is the portal. This is the home page where we have all the various touristic products. And you'll notice what is also unique. We're not saying this is Kenya, this is Rwanda, this is Uganda, this is just East Africa. So as a tourist or a traveler, they need to know there's no border here. You can freely travel and explore the entire region and pick different activities that you want to see as one place. It's not really a separate itinerary, it's a collective itinerary. So one of the instructions we were given was that, you know, let's make this portal accessible to the private sector. They should take ownership of the platform. And one of the things they want to do, of course, I know you love tourism, but at the end of the day, you're a business and you need to make money. So one of the goals of the platform is to help drive revenue help you generate new leads, new potential customers, and make your job easier as far as facilitating that. Okay. So let me just make sure. Can everyone hear me? Because sometimes I speak too soft. And I'm going to break my back. Let me lift the mic. There we go. I'm a bit taller for this microphone. Thank you. Okay. Anyway, this is a website, but what I will take you through what is unique about it and why it's a platform. First, the journey starts with a tourist discovering the various products that we have available. They can leisurely browse the site, or they can make a trip planner. Okay? So they can make a trip planner, select a few destinations, say I want to visit X and Y from Kenya to Uganda, doesn't matter, right? It creates their itinerary, and then a unique feature is they can save this trip planner and then print it as their guide when they come and do, let's say, a self-guided tour, or they can request a quotation from the various partners. So in the back end, our system allows a tourist to make a request. It is then broadcasted to every tour operator that provides services to those particular attractions. Then each operator is allowed to respond and provide their own quotations. Then they come back to the tourist. The tourist can slow down. You're clicking a bit too far. Yeah, so just in the overview, there's the opportunity for tourists to make a quotation, operators to respond, attach their proposal, make the price quotation. And that is pretty unique. And to make it interactive, and so that the content can be shared across the region, we have, the tourism boards of, for example, Kenya, they can update their content, right? One of the challenges was how do we keep content fresh and updated? Because you'll go from one tour operator's site and they say one thing about this national park, then you go to another one and they have a different story. So how do we deliver a consistent message? So this is the tourism board. They have their content management system that was specifically built for this. So here they can update their country information, relevant facts and figures, add news and events and conferences in one central place, add any new attractions or tourist products, and all of these will then automatically show up on the website. And then the other stakeholder is the associations and their various members, right? So we allow them to manage the list of, for example, this is a tour operator. They get to manage their list of members. And the system is designed in a way that it's self-service, so that they can invite a member, they get an email, they log in, and then they update their information about your company, your profile, any social media links, how to contact you, and it's there so that you can keep it updated. You no longer have to phone the secretary of the association. I've changed emails, I've changed phone numbers. All of that is there, self-service. Okay, and then as a tour operator, remember one of the challenges was how do we keep the content fresh and updated? So the portal will keep the content, will update it, it's shareable, you can use it any way you want, but it's there in one place. You don't have to juggle with your website, or you can share some of the data with your website. And what's new is you log in as an operator, you have a menu of all of the tour products that are available. You select which ones you provide services to. And why that's important is when a tourist requests for a quotation or service, you will be one of the members who receives the notification. So if they have 5 different things in their trip planner, and the requirement is you have to provide all 5 of those destinations in your offering. And then you will see there's a quotations tab, where this is where you'll see the lead generations from the various tourists. I don't know if people can read it, but anyway, there'll be a list of every request that comes in. And as we went over this morning, the goal is collaboration and joint marketing. So, of course, you have your own individual website somewhere, but you have to do a lot to market that on your own. And what is very unique and commendable about the governments of Kenya, Uganda, and Rwanda is they're going to help you by jointly marketing one platform where you can get leads for your various websites. So, yes, you can still have your own personal website. There'll be a link there that will direct traffic to you, as well as directly through a quotation. And another challenge, I know many in the industry, is payments, for example. How do we get payments? Credit card fees are very high, wire transfers. So in the next phase, we're trying to facilitate payments so that you can get your reservation bookings online. What else? Yeah, so this is the beginning. We're planning to grow the platform together with your input. So far, it's been great working with everyone here. It's a very exciting group of people. You know, I'm in IT, but I love to travel, and working with people in tourism is really great because they're very fun. They know all the great places to hang out, great food, the great experiences. So you guys are a very fun group of people. And next, Carmen will allow me to share that we're planning to work on a certification program for various specialists. They will be able to do an online training to learn more about East Africa, do questionnaires via e-learning, and get a certificate that says, you know, they're a certified specialist able to market and sell East Africa. And this is a way to keep the public educated on the various products so that it's a badge of recognition. And if you want to contact us, that's how to contact us. The domain for the portal will be visiteastafrica.org. Thank you, and if you have any questions.
Thank you very much, Ernest. This is the beginning of a journey where all of you partners, private sector from the 3 countries, you are invited to join. We will, of course, now conduct training in each country. You are going to see Ernest and his team and the tourism board and then private sector associations to take you through. I'd like to mention that the reason actually why this portal was designed, if we have one single tourist visa, we are promoting East Africa as one destination. So it pretty much makes sense that we go virtually online somewhere and then promote this destination together, giving an opportunity to a tour operator based in Kigali, a travel agent working in Sumu or Mombasa, or another partner working in Uganda, to have access to the same information and then also do business on the same platform. When someone click and submit travel or trip on the portal, what will happen? That will go live to all of you who have registered to this portal. So now everybody has the same access to the information. Competition now will be based on what you can offer and then the price you have, and from there business can start. So we are really making it now live, open, source market, so all of you can actually conduct your business and potentially attract new markets. If you are a tour operator selling only Rwanda, then probably more chances for you to get more business is to partner with another partner in Kenya who's selling safaris, and then someone who's selling adventure tourism in Uganda. So the destination East Africa is live. We have now moved beyond just talking about business. Now we want to see practical things which make sense to you as private sector. So we will see you soon. We'll be coming to all your countries, and then we will make sure that you register and join this amazing journey. Thank you. So without any further ado, I would like now to invite our guest of honor in the room, the Vice Premier. The questions, I think what we'll do, the team is here. We'll see it because of the time. The portal will be, Ernest is here, and the team will answer all the questions you need for the portal. So today was just unveiling the portal, but they'll be in the room for you for any questions. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much. A big hand of applause to the East African Tourism Platform for that wonderful excursion of the region. We are using as much of new technology to bridge the gap. I would like at this point to invite our State Minister for Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, who will invite our guest, the Right Honorable Deputy Prime Minister of Uganda. And as he comes, allow me to introduce His Excellency, Dr. Kionga, our new ambassador to China. He is a revolutionary of the country, and he's been the past Minister of Finance, past Minister of Health, past Minister of Defense, a very distinguished son of the soil. You're most welcome, sir. And as you go back to Nihao, please tell our people that there's a great destination. Minister, please come and invite our chief guest. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I hope everybody has been introduced. I don't want I think Stephen, as you've done to the right, His Excellency, you should really develop the whole list of the ambassadors who are here. Right Honorable Ali Chilunda Chivedinda, the third Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of East Africa. Welcome to tourism, to the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo. All my colleagues, the ministers from the countries, my sister here from Zimbabwe, His Excellency the ambassadors and high commissioners who are here, members of parliament, members of the press, the staff of the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, my PS. I've also seen the PS of the Foreign Affairs, Mr. Ambassador Mugoya. I don't know whether he's still around. Ladies and gentlemen, and all of you, the invited guests. Right Honorable Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of East Africa, on behalf of the Ministry of Tourism, Wildlife and Antiquities, and all its agencies, the tourism sector, private sector, and on my own behalf, I extend to you the sector's sincere welcome to the third edition of the Pearl of Africa Expo taken here today at Sheraton Hotel. Right Honorable, for this year's Expo, we have been joined with a number of tourism stakeholders from across East African community, region, Africa, and the globe. At this Expo, Right Honorable, we have the buyers who have been on a trip to familiarize themselves about Uganda and have been interacting with the tour operators, our tour operators operating in Uganda, for the last couple of days. They came here around, some came in 4th, 3rd, 5th. They've been interacting also
making themselves acquainted with Uganda, with our communities, and I've also interacted with some when I was in Bwindi National Park. We're also honored, Right Honorable, to have been joined by colleague ministers, especially my sister from Zimbabwe, who is seated next to you, and also brought us greetings from Mzee Mugabe, and please send us our regards. Yes. From Seychelles, our brother from Seychelles, the Japanese ambassador to Uganda, and heads of tourism boards from across Africa, Uganda Tourism Private Sector, Uganda Regional Tourism Clusters, among others. We've divided the country into 30 clusters, and all these clusters are represented here. The 30 clusters that the whole country is here in terms of tourism, Right Honorable. The theme of this third expo is tourism is everybody's business. And in the morning here we had panelists here who are really deliberating on this theme, how really we take tourism as everybody's business. It's therefore not by accident that Uganda's Vision 2040 identifies tourism as one of the primary growth sectors that should be harnessed to propel Uganda to become a middle status income by 2020. Right Honorable Prime Minister, in executing this mandate, the ministry is guided and regulated by the policies, legislation, and national planning framework. Our work is electorally guided by the Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, sector policies and laws, Uganda Vision 240, the National Development Plan, and the NRM Manifesto, the party which is in power. The Vision 220, the National Development Plan 2, the NRM Manifesto identifies tourism as a key primary growth sector that should be harnessed and propel the country into a middle income status. And indeed, tourism is among the 23 presidential directives that were given to the country by His Excellency the President to propel this country into the middle income status. Our mission and commitment is to develop and promote tourism, conserve and preserve the natural and cultural heritage, resources of accelerated economic growth and social transformation of the country. Consequently, Right Honorable, over the next 4 years, our main objective is to unlock Uganda's tourism potential. We want to make sure that Uganda is one of the major preferred tourism destinations and achieve target by His Excellency the President endorsed out on the target of attaining at least 4 million visitors, tourist arrivals by the year 2020. Right Honorable, what is coming to a time when we are doing everything to aggressively market destination Uganda, and now with the issue of East Africa, it's even making the work better, because as East Africans, we don't look at ourselves as competitors, but we look at ourselves as complementaries. In view of the desire to market our region as a single destination, Uganda is now, among other things, part of the joint tourism marketing committee of the Northern Corridor Infrastructure Project Initiative. The single tourism visa covering Rwanda, Uganda, and Kenya, joint branding, joint portal, joint stand and pavilion at travel fairs, and now joint road shows have greatly optimized our promotion and marketing effort to regional and international levels. Recently, we were in London and we had the single store as people of East Africa. And that one really creates a lot of meaning to our tourists because they look at East Africa as one. We are grateful for being honored by the presence of our partner states at this Powhatan taking place in Kampala at Sheraton Hotel. Right Honorable, you've also heard when people were talking about domestic tourism. We've picked a lot of lessons from our sister countries, and through this, of course, that's why we created the 13 clusters to market destination Uganda, basing on these 13 clusters. We came up with the initiative of domestic tourism, where I even I've seen some of my queens of domestic tourism here. They're here with us. We've also engaged initiatives like the youth tourism promotion activities. We are starting with Chigezi Tourism Cluster. We started with Chigezi Tourism Cluster in 2012, and now all the clusters are really being covered. This includes Buganda, Busoga, Bunyoro, West Nile, Lango, Teso, Achori, Toro, Ankole, Karamoja, Renzori, and Eastern Tourism Forum. We will just launch in the last 3-4 months, we launched a program, dubbed as Tulambule, which really means let's explore our country. We believe at the ministry that Ugandans are the best marketeers of the destination Uganda, but you cannot market something that you don't know. So we are doing everything to maximize this program and really tell Ugandans about their destination and our next target as a country, also to move aggressively to the region to make sure that at least more Rwandese, our friends from Rwanda, from Kenya, and the rest of the East African countries really come and enjoy the beauty of Uganda. Your Excellency, your Right Honorable, is an increased participation and collaboration among stakeholders, including private sector, NGOs, and local communities in tourism promotion activities. This has really taken place. The private sector has registered their presence and have been joined by the East African Tourism Platform and various Ugandan tourism private sector associations and enterprises at this expo. It's now my singular duty, Right Honorable, and honor to invite you to come and give remarks and also officially declare the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo 2017 official open. Can I invite you, Right Honorable, to come and address the nation? Thank you so much.
Honorable ministers, visitors, and the participants on this Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo 2017. Well, first of all, as I have been introduced, I'm come here to represent my boss, who was very much anxious to be here with you, the Prime Minister, but due to unscheduled official demands, has not been able to be here. So he rang me. Actually, this morning he says, please, can you go there and fill my gap? And I think he had the reasons why he chose me among his big cabinet to come here. One, that I am the shortest person who has lived in this part of Africa, in this room. And secondly, I have also not have I have the privilege of also leading the government with him in Uganda, and also gave me the extra responsibility of being in charge of East Africa. So I thought he has got, he had the right points to pick me to represent him here. And I think I will utilize that. First of all, before I deliver the message, which I will do, it is a short one, I would first of all want to welcome you here and to tell you that the greatest discoveries are the discoveries of the ordinary. That the East Africans are realizing that they are one, that they've been sitting on a lot of God-given gifts which actually need to be marketed for others to see. Because some of the things you have seen here or you are seeing in front was not our creation, but it's the creation of humanity. And it is here, the only thing which you have, because all those fellows who are here, you have not marketed one thing, the climate and the sunshine, because it is here in plain. We are here in this room with the minimum interference of cooling the air or warming it anytime. You just enjoy it. So please, when you are marketing, and especially those who have come up, add that as one of the forefront. That after all, and today when I had actually I had already put on my suit for the office, but when he told me that you are going on the tourist, I said, let me appear in a tourist mood. Because here it is not a very cold country, and I have not seen tourists moving in very big, heavy suits. So I thought I could bring the mood to this room and to this conference to be tourists. And a tourist is a person who is trying to discover the beauties around him or her, so that before she leaves this earth, for which you are sure definitely you will go, at least be more enriched as to what nature has created around you. Don't go ignorant as you enter into the world. And therefore you will have more to share with each other. One of the problems when I was invited and we were interacting, I said, okay, we are now marketing East African nature as one group. I said, yes, but that is my mission of making the East African aware that despite the so-called disparities you are having, which are not of your creation, by the way, we have got a common base. But in the East African community, we have removed what we call official barriers. But then there remain a lot of, we call it, what do you call it? Non-tariff barriers. And we have to work on them. Because these non-tariff barriers grow because of our own history. East Africa, as it is now, we are not we are responsible, the ambassador of Rwanda, for demarcating how Rwanda, the boundaries of Rwanda. Are we responsible for the boundaries of Kenya and Uganda? So those who demarcated us had a reason. But this is not the time to tell you. But now, I think if there were some small advantages, those can no longer be able the basis of our being, or to hinder us from coming together. We can no longer live in that situation. Because those were structures which were meant not for us. And now you can see the openings. You can see even some crying. It says, hey, somebody was telling me that there are more people, more Ugandans at least die having visited Kenya than the Kenyans coming to Uganda. Why? Some of you may think this is because they were unequal. No. The terrain, those who created it, made sure that everything flows from Nairobi. But it can no longer be so. Because that was meant. That was the arrangement. We have lived now for about almost 50 years. And we know that that trend can no longer work. It cannot be sustainable. Definitely it will not. So I just need to congratulate you for the East African to realize that you have a common base and you should market yourselves as East Africans. And definitely once we do that, then we shall have also to solve in the long run the problems which my Rwandan brothers have. Where we were divided. But in Kenya it is worse. And Uganda. At one time we had a member of parliament, a Ugandan, who was contesting to be a president of Uganda. And his brother was the vice president of Kenya. Same mother, same father. But born out of. So when we come together, we are also assisting also Africans to come to unite the same people, and we forget all these things. Fortunately, the animals and all other natural boundaries have no respect for boundaries. The animals move the way. Even the human beings also are moving freely on the border, bring the East African together and also showing what we can give to the world. So I wish you success in that. Having made those small remarks, can I come to the burden of delivering the message of my boss? Honorable Cabinet Ministers, Members of Parliament present, Excellencies, Ambassadors and High Commission, Members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, invited guests. Allow me, Your Excellencies, to extend to you Uganda's warm regards and greetings for the honoring of our invitation to attend the third edition of the Pearl of Africa Expo, POT 2017. We are delighted to be joined by a team of tourism stakeholders from across the world for this year's POT. I welcome in a special way our international and national stakeholders in the tourist industry. We value and appreciate your presence here this week and your continuing support to Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. This, as you know, it was given to us by, it was a description really of when Churchill stumbled on the beauty around here. He had never seen it anywhere. And it was a call to his colleagues who says, don't miss this part of Africa. But for us here, we see it is the center of humankind, because all of you, at least from anthropological records, man was first started here in the Lacustrine regions. And before you dispersed in different parts of the world where you lost some of you lost your melanin. So it's better always to know, to touch base with the origin of man. And we say an area gifted by nature, because was not our own creation. It was just gifted by nature. I have been reliably informed that there are over 65 hosted buyers who have been on the familiarization trip in Uganda and have been interacting with our tour operators for the last couple of days. I am also informed that you will be doing business, strengthening existing partnerships, and forging new ones, all with a view to moving the tourism industry forward and contributing to making Uganda the destination of choice for many more holiday makers around the world. This year's expo, whose theme is Tourism is Everybody's Business, gives Uganda an opportunity to showcase our unique tourism attractions and hospitality services to the world. The hosted buyers who have been on the familiarization trip around the country's tourist attractions could already have appreciated that Uganda occupies a strategic confluence of East African savanna and the Central African forest, and offers a highly compelling combination of wildlife, safaris, and private trekking, including the continent's highest mountain range, the source of the Nile, and the African Great Lakes. Uganda undoubtedly has the raw material necessary for a successful tourist destination, which we want to share with our regional and global partners. That's why I said, when you plan, also include to make it easier for tourists to cover the whole of when they come here. If somebody enters through Kenya, or through Rwanda, or through Uganda, or through Southern Sudan, because after all, it's just because of those hiccups, but we shall soon solve it, and it will be one area. One could be able to move with a round trip ticket without, again, if he doesn't want to go other, let him be the loser, but provide a circuit ticket which is cheap and will give open opportunities for anybody who wants to enter without extra amount of money. If you have got problems there, I think the East African community, we can be able to intervene. And if we are not in a position to provide the equivalent of the East African Airways, those which are national should be able to carry on that job, so that actually we don't inconvenience. Somebody takes all the time from Canada, he wants to see, and then he's prevented from going to another destination because of the internal cost of the ticket. As a country, our Vision 2040 identifies tourism as one of the primary growth sectors that should be harnessed to propel Uganda to become a middle-income status by 2020. This is possible for a number of reasons, of which the most important is the fact that Uganda's tourism has emerged as the top foreign exchange earner, with growth rates that are propelling the service sector, creating jobs, providing employment, development of hotels, restaurants, tourist facilities, leisure sports, and boosted the interlinkage between other sectors. Tourism has been growing consistently given the restoration of peace and security in the country, and currently accounts for nearly 9.9% of GDP, amounting to $2.13 billion. We are grateful to our foreign visitors who brought into the country an equivalent of 1.3 billion in foreign exchange earnings in 2014. The government of Uganda is taking appropriate steps to enhance the competitiveness of the tourism sector and boost the number of tourists visiting the country and the region. Through the East African Tourism Platform and in partnership with the private sector, we agreed to host annual events to showcase our regional tourism product range. For example, we use Piote as an opportunity to showcase our diverse and exceptional tourism products and services. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, tourism connects us immediately with the world. It is an industry which packages genuine human happiness and pleasure as a product and markets it globally for the stakeholders to connect and interact very closely. In this regard, we are committed to promoting the East African community in general and Uganda in particular as destinations of choice rather than stopovers. We are undertaking additional investment in infrastructure whose quality and quantity are important factors that affect the growth of the tourism sector. Uganda is undertaking major physical infrastructure developments, including the Northern Corridor Road Network and the Standard Gauge Railway, all of which will ensure our ability to handle more visitors. I appreciate the key players in the tourism sector who have worked hard to raise the number of tourists visiting Africa and Uganda in particular. This country, as you well know, is a home to millions of warm-hearted, hospitable, hardworking, and dynamic people whose boundless hospitality is acclaimed by millions of our admirers throughout the world. They are celebrating freedom, dignity, and progress. They are also commemorating the struggles and the sacrifices we underwent to win freedom and secure development. To all our guests from across the world, the best gift you can give to Uganda is to promote Destination Uganda as a premier global preferred tourist destination and share with the world the delights of the Pearl of Africa. You know how generous we are. Share the pearl, join the celebrations. I once again extend a warm welcome to our visitors and encourage you to freely participate in the joy of bright and beautiful weather, as well as Uganda's exceptional range of natural and cultural tourism assets. As we come together today, I wish to reaffirm the government's commitment to drive the tourist sector to greater heights, empowering communities and contributing to the social and economic transformation of our country. In the same vein, I reassure the tourist fraternity of our vision and plan to develop tourism, and thank the partners of this initiative in the promotion of the tourism industry for our region. Honorable Ministers and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is now my singular duty and honor to declare the Pearl of Africa Tourism Expo 2017 officially opened. Thank you for God and my country.
A big hand of applause to our Right Honorable Deputy Prime Minister. Thank you very much, the Right Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, for a wonderful official opening. I feel a little guilty in my suit. I'm supposed to be the key promoter, and senior has created the mood, and so thank you very much for that wonderful insight. It's now my singular honor to announce that after here, we're going for an official photograph with the guest of honor and our distinguished leaders present, heads of tourism boards, officials. We're going to we then have an official photograph outside in the designated area which has been prepared. The guest of honor is going to tour the different places that have been prepared. As you'll see, Deputy Right Honorable Prime Minister, all the tourism boards, visitors from different countries, service providers have prepared exhibition areas outside. We even have a mini zoo outside to showcase just a sneak preview of what we have as a country. So we'll do that, but as it's official custom, we're going to have the official anthems. I'll request you guys, all of you, to stand so that we have the anthems, and then we'll allow the guest of honor to move ahead of us down to the portrait area. Thank you.
Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Uzalendo pia mshikamano viwe msingi wa umoja wetu, na tulinde uhuru na amani, mila zetu na desturi zetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu. Viwandani na hata mashambani, tufanye kazi sote kwa makini, tujitoe kwa hali na mali, tuijenge jumuiya bora. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Thank you very much, everybody. Our guest of honor will lead the way. Colleagues, ministers, high commissioners, ambassadors, heads of tourism boards, and all of you, please join us for the photo. Thank you.
Jambo, jambo bwana, habari gani? Nzuri sana, wageni wakaribishwa. Kenya yetu hakuna matata. Jambo, jambo bwana, habari gani? Nzuri sana, wageni wakaribishwa.